Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Srikan Gurukul. Here we are with a new video along with the daily current affairs of VISION IAS. In this video, we shall discuss the news of 11th and 12th December 2022. Let's go through it one by one. The first news that is regarding the 112th action taken report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice. And here are some which was recently presented in tabled in Rajya Sabha. And here are some major observation and recommendation of the committee in the personal management field. The report highlighted that there is a huge manpower shortage, that is around over 1500 IAS officers with 21 services awaiting the cadre review, and there is no provision for direct recruitment of candidates above rank of sub inspector in CBI. And the report also have some recommendation, that is to designate the Department of Personnel and Training as the nodal agency, that to monitor the backlog on reserved vacancies, and there should be provisions for direct recruitment of candidates in rank of inspector or DSP. And in the integrity, vigilance and transparency services matter, there is a high pendency at the CAT, that is Central Administrative Tribunal, Central Vigilance Officers, Central Bureau of Investigation. And there are also cases ending in conviction from CBI have declined from 743 to 202. 743 that was in 2012, and to 202 that is the status as on 2021. And the recommendation of the report is to filling the vacant posts at Central Administrative Tribunal, specifying time limits of actions and complaints by the Central Vigilance Officers, and rationalization of the strength at CBI, and put in place of a case management system in order to track the progress of the pending cases. And in the general consent, there are 9 states they have withdrawn their general consent to the CBI, which hampered the seamless investigation of the cases. 9 states in India, they have already withdrawn their general consent. Before withdrawal of general recommendation, the report recommended that before withdrawal of the general consent, the states would consider the complex nature involving the multiple agencies spread across many states and those involving the foreign elements. Now let's move to the next news, that is regarding the United Nations Water Summit on groundwater, which recently concludes in Paris. The summit was organized by the UN Water of UNESCO and International Groundwater Resource Assessment Center in order to bring the attention to groundwater at highest international level. What is this UN Water? So it is a UN interagency coordination mechanism for all freshwater and sanitation related matters. It is a United Nations interagency coordination mechanism for all freshwater and sanitation related matters. And what is this International Groundwater Resource Assessment Center? It is a UNESCO center that works under the WMO, World Meteorological Organization, and financially supported by Netherlands. It is a UNESCO center and it works under the WMO, and it is financially supported by the Netherlands. Its specialization is in regional and transboundary level assessment and monitoring of the groundwater resources. Regional and transboundary level assessment of groundwater. One of the IGRAC's flagship product is the Global Groundwater Information System. So most important, it is financially supported by Netherlands, and it is works under the WMO, and it is a UNESCO center. And Here the summit that will mark the completion of the groundwater campaign, that is the making the invisible and visible campaign, which is run by UN Water throughout 2022. Throughout this year, the UN Water run a campaign that named Groundwater Making the Invisible Visible, and the summit uses the UN Water Development Report, the UN Water Development Report 2022 as a baseline, and the Sustainable Development Goal 6 Global Acceleration Framework to define the action towards more responsible and sustainable use production of this vital natural resource. And in 2020, there are 5 pillars of the Sustainable Development Goals Global Acceleration Framework. They release namely data and information, capacity development, innovation, finance, and governance. This is the 5 pillars of SDG 6. And the summit recommendation to promote the groundwater, and what are the recommendations? That is to improve the exploration, monitoring and analysis of the groundwater in order to manage them by identifying how much groundwater we can extract and where and when. So to improve the exploration, monitoring and analysis of the groundwater. They protect the aquifers recharge areas from pollution to make them pollution free, the protected aquifers areas, ensuring the groundwater access to all and helping to achieve the sustainable development goal 6. The groundwater is water which is stored in rocks and soils, okay, and it accounts 99% of the liquid fresh water on earth. And India is the largest user of the groundwater, and with a fourth total global withdrawal. It is the largest user of groundwater, and concern for the groundwater is depletion of the water tables and this small saltwater encroachment, drying of aquifers, water logging and salinity. These are some concerns with the groundwater. What are depletion of the water tables, saltwater encroachment, drying of aquifers and water logging and salinity. Now let's move to the next news, that is regarding the 9th World Ayurveda Congress. Recently, the Prime Minister addresses the valedictory function of the 9th World Ayurvedic Congress. So, the Ayurvedic Congress, it was held in Goa under the theme Ayurveda for One Health. It is the theme of the 9th World Ayurveda Congress, that to acknowledge the close linkages between the human beings' health and with the health of all living beings and our shared environment. So the theme is Ayurveda for One Health, and the objective is to make a linkage between the human beings' health with the health of all living beings and our shared environment. What is this Ayurveda? Ayurveda, that is also known as the science of longevity. It is the oldest traditional medicinal system in India, which promotes the wellness along with treatment. Okay, it promotes wellness along with treatment. It is deemed as fifth Veda. It traces to root the Atharva Veda with Charak Samhita of Charaka, Susruta Samhita of Susruta, Ashtanga Hridaya of Bhagavata, and the great trilogy of Ayurvedic medicine. Today, over 30 countries, they have recognized the Ayurveda as the traditional system of medicine. And in India, there are around 40,000 MSMEs. They are active in Ayush sector with the overall industry sizes 1,50,000 crore rupees, approximately 1,50,000 crore rupees of this Ayurvedic industry. What are the challenges with Ayurveda? Lack of documented process, products validation, issue in efficacy and quality assurance protocol, and lack of health insurance approval. So these are some challenges with this Ayurveda. What are the initiatives taken by the government of India to promote the Ayurveda? We have a Ministry of Ayush that led to increase the enthusiasm and trust towards Ayurveda, and the World Health Organization Global Center for Traditional Medicine in Gujarat, and All India Institute of Ayurveda that is in New Delhi, and the creation of the Ayush research portal for evidence based research data. These are some initiatives taken by the government side to promote the Ayurveda. Additionally, the Prime Minister inaugurates the All India Institute of Ayurveda in Goa, the National Institute of Unani Medicine that is in Ghaziabad, and the National Institute of Homeopathic that is Delhi at WSC, the World Ayurveda Congress. And the main aim is to strengthen the research and international collaborations and facilitate the affordable Ayurveda service for people. Okay. Now, next news that is regarding the future satellites that is to launched by the ISRO. So the ISRO to introduce the L1 frequency, okay, in all its future satellites, and the main aim is to promote the civilian use of navigation, with the Indian constellation, and thus the next satellites that is starting from the NBS-01 towards, they will have L1 band of civilian navigation use. Okay, so the NBS-01, it is a satellite that is set to replace one of the ISRO 7 navigational satellite currently in place. Currently ISRO have 7 navigational satellites, and the NBS-01, the satellite is going to replace all the satellites for navigation purpose, and with the L1 frequency. L1 frequency, what is this? It is the most commonly used frequency that is in GPS, the global positioning system, and it will increase the benefits that will be increase the use of regional navigation system in wearable devices and personal trackers. And the NAVIC, that is the navigation with Indian constellation, that currently broadcasts in Singlan in space of 2 frequency bands, that is the L5 and S band. Now we are using the L5 and S band, and in future satellites we are going to introduce the L1 frequency in place of the L5 and S band. And what is this L5 frequency? It's a bandwidth is 1164.45 to 1188.45 megahertz, and the use of this frequency is to improve the accuracy for civilians use such as aircraft precision. And the L1, that is the bandwidth is 1563.42 to 1587.42 megahertz, and it is to track the GPS satellite location. Okay, and the S band, that is 2483.50 and to 2500 megahertz, and it is useful for near and far range weather observation. Okay, the NAVIC, that is, or the Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, it is the ISRO's constellation of 7 satellites that is akin to the US's GPS, European Union's Galileo, Japan's Koshi satellite system, Russia's GLONASS, and that can be used to track location. Okay, the NAVIC that offers 2 services. The NAVIC offers 2 services, that is, one is the standard position service for civilian users and restricted service for strategic users like military. Okay, it offers 2 services, that is the standard position service for the common civilian users, and it is a restricted service that is to for the strategic users like military. Next topic, that is regarding the there is a appeal of Supreme Court Chief Justice of India that the parliament must examine the age of consent issue under the protection of the children from sexual offences, that is the POSCO Act. And the what is the appeal of the CGI? The CGI appeal was made at as the POSCO Act 2022. It poses the difficulties for judges examining the cases of consensual sex involving adolescents. Okay, he referred to India analysis of judgments of special courts in West Bengal, Assam, and Maharashtra that romantic cases under POSCO Act study by the Enfold Proactive Health Trust and UNICEF India. Okay, and here is a study. As per the study, that is 1 in every 4 cases under the POSCO Act, they constituted romantic cases. Okay, and the 93.8% cases they ended with equitiles, and in 46.6% cases girl was between 16 to 18 years. This is the study of the as per the study of the Enfold Proactive Health Trust and UNICEF India. And the POSCO the POSCO Act, it is a special act. POSCO Act is a special act to protect the children, that is any person below the age of 18 years, from offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment and pornography. It was amended in 2019 and to impose the stringent punishment for sexual crimes against children. Okay, and it also provides for the establishment of the special courts for trials for early disposal of the cases. And there are some concerns associated with the POSCO Act. It is a high pendency of cases, low conviction rate, lack of exclusive special courts, misuse to punish adolescents involved in consensual sex. And the here are some, the study also made some recommendations, that is to decriminalize the consensual sexual acts involving the adolescent above 16 years. Okay, that is to decriminalize the consensual sexual acts, and the introduction of the comprehensive sexuality education, that is to help the adolescents make informed decisions. Okay, next news, that is regarding the Orion's landing in Pacific Ocean. The uncrewed Orion capsule that slaps down of the coast of the Baja California, that is bringing to an end to the NASA's Artemis 1 moon mission after 2.3 million kilometers flight. And the slapdowns that occurred on the 50th anniversary of the touchdown on moon of NASA's last lunar mission, that is Apollo 17. Okay, the Orion performed a new landing technique that is called the skiff entry. Okay, this landing technique is known as skiff entry, that is designed to help the spacecraft accurately splash down at landing site and reduce the force of gravity. Okay, and the Orion that entered the Earth's upper atmosphere and used the atmosphere and its leave to skip back outside the atmosphere only to re-enter once again. And this technique is known as skip technique, new landing technique. And the Artemis, it is the first integrated test of NASA's deep space exploration system, and the Orion spacecraft in the space launch system rocket. It is the first in a series of increasingly complex mission that will enable the human exploration to Moon and Mars. Okay, and the Artemis that demonstrated the Orion's heat shield that can withstand high speed and high heat conditions when returning through Earth's atmosphere. There is also Artemis 2, Artemis 3, and it is Artemis 2 is planned for 2024 and Artemis 3 is planned for 2026. And Artemis 2, that will be crewed flight that will orbit moon but not land on the surface, and but the Artemis 3 that will land a crewed spacecraft on the southern pole of the moon. Next news, that is regarding the National Advisory Committee on the Accessible Election. So the Election Commission of India that has set up 2 subcommittee under the National Advisory Committee on the Accessible Elections. Okay, the what is the aim of the to set up the subcommittees? The subcommittees aim to study the ways to improve the accessibility features for its websites and make registration of persons with disabilities as electors easier. And this committee also review work and issues relating to the participation of the persons with disabilities in electoral processes at states and district level. And the deputy election commissioner is the chairperson of the committee, and the meetings are convened biannually as decided by the chair. Who is the chair? That is the deputy election commissioner, and the time period is 2 years or until the alternate surface is proposed. Next news, that is regarding the Assam movement. The Assam observed the Shahid Divas, that is on the 10th December. So 10th December is the Assam's Shahid Divas, that is observed by the Assam government, that is paying tribute to the Khargeshwar Talukdar. Okay, Khargeshwar Talukdar, the first martyr of Assam movement. Okay, so Assam observed the Shahid Divas, that is on 10th December, that is to paying tribute to the Khargeshwar Talukdar, who is the first martyr of the Assam movement. So let's read something about Assam movement. Assam movement, it was started under the leadership of the All Assam Students Union (ASU) and All Assam Gana Sangram Parishad. It is by the two union, that is All Assam Students Union and All Assam Gana Sangram Parishad, and it was targeted by fears of illegal migration into the state and that threatening the local identity and heritage, and it ended with Assam Accord, that is between the government of India and the leaders of the movement, leaders from of the movement, that is the ASU, that is the All Assam Students Union and the All Assam Gana Sangram Parishad. It aimed to detect and delete foreigners and all-round economic development and provide constitutional, legislative and administrative safeguards. Okay, this is called Assam movement, which was in between 1979 to 1985. ASEAN 5-point consensus on Myanmar. So the Indonesian Foreign Minister stated that India and other countries should respect and follow ASEAN's policy on Myanmar. Okay, in 2021, the Myanmar military government came to power after deposing elected National Unity Government and jailing thousands of leaders. There was a military coup in 2021. And what are the ASEAN 5-point consensus? An immediate end to violence in the country, and the dialogue among all parties, appointment of a special envoy, humanitarian assistance by ASEAN, and the special envoy's visit to Myanmar to meet with all parties. Okay, then the coordinated patrol or CORPAT. It is a bilateral exercise that is between the Indian Navy and Indonesian Navy. Indian Navy and Indonesian Navy in the Indian Ocean, Indo-Pacific region. And G20 finance track. What is this? First G20 finance track meeting that will be held in Bengaluru. It will be hosted jointly by the Minister of Finance and the Reserve Bank of India. The finance track that is led by the Finance Minister and the central bank governors of G20 countries, and it will provide an effective forum for the global economic disclosure and policy coordination. And India is hosting the G20 for the next 1 year, and it will focus on managing global debt vulnerabilities, advancing financial inclusion and financing for climate action and sustainable development goals, etc. And the other track under the G20 is the SERPA track, that with which oversees the negotiations, discussion agenda and coordinates the substantive work. Next is there is a crude oil prices. It is touched a yearly low nearly $76 a barrel after reaching $129 in March after Russia-Ukraine war. Okay, And what are the reasons for declining in price? And there is a demand concern due to global economic slowdown with recessionary fears in developed world and uncertain outlook on China due to the COVID-19 restriction, COVID-19 restriction, and the end of the supply uncertainty from Russia with the imposition of the $60 a barrel price cap from West on Russian oil. And what will the impact on India? The shrinking of trade deficit on account of reduced import bill and the ease inflation due to lower energy prices and the strengthening of rupee due to reduced dollar demand. Okay, then next, that is regarding the Marcos. There is a marine commando force. Indian Navy, in a historic move, Indian Navy to allow the women to opt for special forces. Okay, and the women in Indian Navy, they can now choose to become the marine commanders only if they meet eligibility criteria as described by the Indian Navy. There are some eligibility criteria that is set by the Indian Navy, and if a women meet all the eligibilities, then they can now become the marine commanders. It will available in both sailors and female officers. They are joining service as agnivirs in 2023. And the Marcos, that was raised in 1987. So exclusively the unit lies exclusively of the unit that lies in its competency to operate all three mediums, namely sea, air, and land. And the achievements of the Marcos, that is uh, since its set off, that is an Operation Pawan, that is in 1987, Operation Cactus, that is in 1988, Operation Rakshak, that is in 1995, still an active operation, and the Operation Black Tornado, it is in 2008. Next news, that is regarding the rain babbler. So the bird watchers, they have discovered a new song bird in Arunachal Pradesh, that they have named it Lishu rain babbler after the Lishu community of the states of Arunachal Pradesh. And the bird has a whitish belly. The bird has a whitish belly and songs were similar to that of the Naga rain bab. So about this rain babbler, about 20 species of small Asian birds. About 20 species of small Asian birds, they belong to the babbler family, and the examples that include the grey-bellied rain babbler and the long-tailed rain babbler. Okay, and they are 10 to 15 centimeters long and rather short-tailed, and they have a rather short and straight bill, and they occur chiefly in southern Asia. Banikaran project, so it is by the Kerala Forest Department. It launches the and that is the Banikaran project, that is to restore the natural vegetation. It is an afforestation project that is to root out the invasive plants, especially the Senna spectacles. So invasive plants, to root out the invasive plant named the Senna spectacles, and it is being executed in Sultan Bathari forest range of Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, so it is executed in the Sultan Bathari forest range of the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, and its pillars include the planting saplings of bamboo, fruit plants, and rainwater harvesting. And the WWS, that is the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, it is an integral part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. The last topic, that is regarding the end-to-end encryption. As per the privacy effort, the Apple that announced that it will now provide the full end-to-end encryption. Okay, so that is to secure the line of communication that blocks the third-party users from the assigning transport that data. So it uses an algorithm that transfers standard text into an unreadable format. What are the pros and what are the cons of this end-to-end encryption? It used to secure the passwords protect stored data and safeguard data on cloud storage. So these are some pros of the encryption, end-to-end encryption. And what are the cons? It is a law and order overlooked. Terrorists and other serious criminals can take advantages of such technology. Okay, this is it for this session. If you like the video, kindly like, share and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you for watching.